and I've been thinking about you guys a lot, praying for you, and just trying to think of things that might be helpful while we're apart. And this is one that I found myself using again, and I regularly use. And I thought it might be good to share with you as you're figuring out new and perhaps different ways to engage Scripture, engage the Bible. So I wanted to show you something. First of all, if you're reading the Bible and you're using an electronic device, one of my favorite translations for information is the NET. And if you're like me, you would typically go to thebible.com and they have this translation. And so right here we have Acts 15 pop up, and this is the NET. These are some of them that I use here. But I really like this NET translation for a few reasons. It shows, you see these little bubbles, a lot of extra tidbit. It's kind of like a study Bible built in, and these are really helpful. And so I use this, I use thebible.com, and I use the NET a lot. But I want to show you, take it to another level if that's not, if you don't want to limit what you're doing. So I use this right here. The study.calvinseminary.edu. Yes, this is my alma mater. Sorry, all you Hope folk out there. But this is a great tool, and it's completely free. And here we go. We have Acts 15 right here again. And the reason that both of them opened up to Acts 15 because it was the last thing that I was reading on both of these apps. So it kind of remembers what you were doing last. But I wanted to show you how that works here. So again, we have the NET, you see here, and you have these little bubbles that you have on the Bible app too. See, and it gives you these same kind of informative little statements here, right there. But I wanted to take it one step further, and I wanted to show you how this one actually gives you a little bit more information. If you are into more of the knowledge side, or you're just really curious about words, entomology, and that sort of thing, etymology, not entomology, sorry if I misspoke on that one. You can click on specific words here, like this one, idols, food, meat that has been sacrificed to idols. It highlights the whole thing because it gets that word in here, and it gives you far more description on what that could mean. And that's really, for me, helpful because sometimes you get these strange words that come up and you can't possibly think. You're like, man, this can't be what they were saying. And so what does it actually mean? So for example, you have one here in Acts 15 after Paul and Barnabas have been hanging out in Antioch for a while, decided to go back where they were planting churches. And you get them, and it says they had a sharp disagreement. Well, what does that mean? And you can find out if you're really interested in the Greek, and those are the tenses and all that. That's not as big of a deal. It does matter, but it just helps you see some of the meaning here. An incitement, irritation. And if you want to go even further, you can actually add a Greek Bible in here. So you can go in there, and it'll give you the side by side as well. So we were just at sharp disagreement down here, and see it scrolls with it, and it'll show you which word over here in context. And again, you click, and it basically gives you the same meaning there. But one thing you can do then is you can click on find, and it will tell you all the occurrences in the Bible right here. And you can do that, and then you can get them into context. So you hit this interlinear, and it tells you the translation as well, and sees when these different words come up. So this is just a helpful thing, and I say this because especially here in Acts 15, what I wanted to show you, what I was moved by, encouraged by, challenged by, is right here after they got this word from the Council of Jerusalem, and you can go back and refresh yourself or go read it for the first time if you never have. But it says, but Paul and Barnabas remained in Antioch, teaching and proclaiming, and then there's a parenthetical thought, along with many others. And you see we have our blip. This is a parenthetical note by the author, which is Luke. And so it says that not just Paul and Barnabas were teaching and proclaiming in Antioch, but many others were. And this affirms what I've been trying to encourage you all with, that it wasn't them, just these elite leaders, but it was everybody involved. It was more than Paul and Barnabas planting churches, but it was many Christian leaders in that church in Antioch. Remember, that's the first place they were called Christians. And people were taking on owning that gift of teaching and sharing it with others. And that's something I would want to encourage you guys on. So if you learn something, I would love for you guys to share it in specific ways through video or a little note on Facebook. But anyways, I thought this might help give you some, at least a place to start if you're wanting to study a little more closely. And at the very minimum, encouragement here to be teaching and proclaiming with each other, to each other, and not just wait for the pastors to do it. So, hope you're having a great day. Love you guys. Miss you guys.